Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
Splendid. How are you?
I'm doing swell. So what are we going to talk about today, babe?
Communication and opening the lines of communication early on in a relationship.
And how important is that?
Extremely 100% important.
I think you and I had tactical advantage over most people because that's all we could do was communicate, right?
We're together physically.
Exactly, we weren't together physically. So I think we can tactical advantage. We had to develop other things that most people don't develop in relationships. Communication.
Yes.
A bond that's deeper than just like a physical part of it.
Because when we first started talking, I couldn't. Obviously, honesty is really important, right up there with communication. But when I start talking to new people, I always have a guard up, right? And I don't know that I can trust that person. But with you, it was different. I felt like I could trust you instantly.
You earned my trust really fast because you didn't hold back anything. I remember there were things that I asked you and you would just straight tell me the truth. And I asked you about your friend and you were like, all right, I kind of wish I wouldn't ask now though. And then you just pretty much anything I asked you, you told me the truth. And so that right there immediately built trust. And then we started communicating from that.
Yes. Because honestly, I thought you wanted one thing and one thing only because you lived here and I was back in Saskatchewan.
Yes.
And then the more that I drifted away from that topic and we started talking about getting to know each other, that's what really made me realize that you actually wanted more than the one thing.
I didn't realize that though. I didn't realize it at the time. Because you did drift away from whatever we were talking about. You drifted away from my main topic a lot. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking to you a lot. You know what I mean? I enjoy talking to you just about life things and getting to know you more than I enjoyed talking about other things. Because I enjoyed getting to know you.
We fell hard.
But the communication wasn't always easy. There was a lot of times when it was really fucking difficult. Not just communicating, but like difficult fucking topics.
We went through a lot.
I remember the one night that you and I stayed up together because I took something you said the wrong way. Or not took something you said, but like
You twisted it.
twisted in my head, said something and kind of joke and laugh about it, and then I took it and did something in a whole different way in my head. Most people, especially at that stage, probably would have been like, "I'm done." But we had that line of communication where you and I just sat down and talked, and we didn't if I remember right, we went deep into the subject, really talking about it.
I ended up pulling out of work.
It was hours we stayed up talking. That wasn't the only time we had the difficult conversations. I felt like I could come to you and talk to you about difficult things that I wouldn't be able to talk to anyone else about, that I never could talk.
We went through hell. We went through things that should have torn us apart, and we talked through it. And you were on that ledge a lot in the beginning of our relationship.
Oh yeah, because I was in a really bad place when you met me. I was at my lowest. The person that I was kind of talking to before really manipulated and kind of like scrambled my mind, especially after everything I'd already gone through with the kid's mom and everything. So my mind was scrambled already having insecurity, the lack of self-love, RJ, all the other things. So like when you met me, I hadn't started my journey yet. I had done that one mushroom journey that I talked about where I had the out of body experience. But I didn't know anything about it. I hadn't actually started on that journey yet until I met you. Something about being with you kick-started that journey. It was like the catalyst to making me really start to go deep. I'd always been into it. I always been into the same things that I'm already into, but it was something about being with you that started to make things click. And I think it was because it was so fucking difficult.
And that's needed sometimes. That even to this day, we still have difficult conversations. You take this morning, for example, that was hard for me.
Well, we have really good communication. You talked to me on Friday about me slacking off on stuff or not being where I'm supposed to be or not doing what I'm supposed to do. Like most partners won't talk to their partner like that. Won't tell them the hard truths. Won't have those difficult conversations when that's exactly what's needed.
I used to be that person. I used to sugarcoat things, and now I don't, because I realize that I'd be hurt with the truth and comforted with the lie.
When people lie to you like that, when they tell you, "Oh no, it's okay to continue on the path that you're on. Oh no, it's okay, you don't need to change." When they tell you that to just kind of reaffirm the lies that you're telling yourself, the people that tell you that, they're not telling you that because they love you and want to spare your feelings. They're telling you that because they don't want to feel bad themselves. So it's their own ego. So think about it, right? This is what I was telling some people, and it kind of thought about when I was talking to somebody about what's it called when somebody's an addict and you an enabler. What's it called when somebody's an addict and you enable it? No, it's an enabler. Because I thought about it when I was talking to somebody about enabling, and I was like, this is the same thing when you lie to your friends or lie to people you love to save their feelings. You are continuing to support or help a behavior or a thought or actions that are leading that person down a path that they don't want to be on. But you're doing it because if you told them the truth and it upset them, you would feel bad, right? So when you think about it, people are letting the ones they love go down the wrong path and continue on the path that is hurting them, destroying them, simply because they don't want to feel bad for telling that person the truth.
It's gonna bruise their ego.
Right? That is when you think about it, that is the shittiest fucking thing you can do, right? So I would rather you tell me the hard truth, because I might get pissed off, it might upset me, but 9 times out of, no, actually not even 9 times out of 10, like 12 times out of 10, it's going to cause me to stop and analyze and think about it. 10 times out of 8, I come back to you and say, you know what, you're right.
Communication is so hard for people these days,
Mm-hmm.
because they can't bring themselves to communicate. They'd rather keep their ego in check, and they'd rather go out and walk around on their partners or do all this sneaky shit, and then their partners won't be able to. Their partners are going through their phones and thinking constantly that their partners are cheating on them and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. Why would you want to go through that? Why can't you just fucking communicate? I hope that our kids, that they don't have to go through that.
Go through what?
People sneaking around on them and having piss poor communication and all that shit, and that they find somebody who truly loves them and really communicates with them the way that we communicate with each other.
I think it's a skill. I think communication is a skill. That's something that you have to develop and work on, right? Because it's so easy not to communicate. It's easier sometimes. It's easier not to, but then it just fucking falls apart.
And if you think your child is struggling with something, you talk to them. You let them know repeatedly that they can come to you, and don't distance yourself from them whatsoever, because that is very childish behavior.
Mm-hmm.
If you as a parent want to distance yourself from your child or your grandchild because they're not doing something that makes you happy as a person, you don't distance yourself. You don't abandon them. You talk to them and you let them know that you are a safe place. You're supposed to be a safe place. You're not supposed to pull away from them.
Absolutely. As a parent or grandparent, as the adult, your job, whether it's a parent or grandparent or whatever, is to guide that child. If they're not doing what they should be doing, that's one of the shittiest things you can do, is to pull away from that kid. You're there to guide them. If they're not doing if they're not doing what you think they should do, or if they're going the wrong direction than what you think they should be going, it is your job as that child's guide to do just that, to guide them. And if you're not getting through to them, that's not that child's fault. It's the parent it's the parent's fault, or it's the adult's fault for not figuring out a way to communicate to that child. It's going to come back to communication. Just because this is something I've talked to several people about. I talked to Dad about this. I tell him over and over and over. You say, oh, well, it's on you to find a way to get through to him. As his grandfather, as the adult, it is your job to find a way to communicate that he can understand, that he can get. He's not going to adapt to you. That's not what kids do. You have to learn to adapt to that kid and communicate to them in a way that they can understand.
That's like how, because Nolan struggles with studying. What helps you? What have we done so far that helps you? And he's like, well, screaming like the guy from FGTV or all the other YouTubers. I'm like, oh, then do that.
It's our job to figure them out. You know what I mean? So many parents just kind of give up on the kids, give up on them, or they want that kid to fit inside the box that the parent has. And it's like, no, you have to build a box that fits around the kid. You're not going to fit some kid into it. You have to build around them. That's our job as parents. That is a job as parents, And like I said, that goes back to communication. That's learning to develop communication skills to get through to the people that you have to get through to. If I'm talking to anyone, it's not even just
It's getting dark.
it is getting that is all up in the eyeballs. Is no, you're good. It's fine. I can go like this though. There we go.
Anyway, sorry.
That's not that, and that's not just that doesn't go with just kids. That goes with anyone else. That goes with everyone else. It's my job to learn to communicate with you in the way that you receive communication. And the same with me. It's your job to learn to communicate with me in the way that I receive communication. I can't force you to fit inside my box, and you can't force me to fit inside your box.
Exactly.
Jesus, babe.
Don't say things like that.
Lord have mercy. Talk about communication.
Well.
Lord have mercy. Let's keep it G-rated, babe. PG at least.
Yeah, those videos aren't made for kids anyways.
Yeah, that's right. No, they're not. Jesus. I don't want to do with you.
Communication is key.
Yes, it is.
It's hard, but you need to do it. Even if you're not ready to talk at that moment, like we're both like that. We're both not ready to talk about it instantly, but just communicate and say, hey, I'm not ready to talk about this right now. Let me think about it and I will get back to you.
Yes. When I get mad, I do not want to communicate at all. When I get mad, I want to ignore until I'm like, okay, now I can come back to the situation.
I'm proud of myself for walking away and not keep pushing you like the other day.
Yes. You used to do that a lot. You used to poke the bear.
I don't like the bear.
But I'm good at knowing when I need to walk away. But again, that comes with communication. That's another skill that you have to learn is when you need to walk away.
Yes. Sometimes it takes a long time, and that's okay because you live and you learn in relationships, and that's what it's all about.
Oh, absolutely. We're like, the thing about my relationships is it's like people learning each other, and it's never ending. You have one hell of a task trying to learn me.
And that I will never give up on.
Because I'm kind of one can say special. One can say I'm complex. I'm a complex individual.
I will never give up on you.
Yes, and you're difficult with me because you're not complex, but like, I don't want to say we don't mash well together. We're, I guess, opposite ends of the spectrum on some things.
You know how to dance. You gotta learn how to dance with your partner very well together.
It's true.
Sometimes we step on each other's toes, but that's all part of the process. You just gotta learn to move together.
And learning that you don't dip.
I don't dip.
I don't dip.